everyone, today I wanted to talk about fastening off and weaving in the tail of your yarn. So a lot of times when you're done with a pattern or a piece of the pattern, it's going to tell you to fasten off. And what that means is you are going to remove your crochet hook, or I like to remove my crochet hook, you don't have to. Then you're going to cut your yarn. Now I leave quite a bit of a tail if I'm going to weave it in, just because sometimes it's hard to work the yarn with a needle if it's too short. So to fasten off, you're going to, after you've completed the last stitch of your work, you're going to yarn over and pull through, creating one chain stitch, and then you're going to pull it tight. So you can see, you can't really tell that there's an additional stitch here because you've pulled it tight, so it looks very similar to the stitch on the front side here. To weave in your tail ends, there's a lot of different ways to do this, so I'm going to show you the way that I prefer to do it. Mine's a little bit chaotic, which if you know me in real life, that's an accurate statement. But I like to go every which way so that it's less likely for my yarn to come undone. So you're going to start by slipping your hook into a stitch, and it's gonna be different in every pattern where you want to put this, because you want to try to make the yarn not noticeable, or the tail not noticeable when you're going through. So I like to slide mine in and pull, and then look to see how noticeable it is. And for me, I'm happy with that. I can't really see it very well right there. I mean, I can if I look really closely, but overall it's not that big of a deal. So I wouldn't want to go through, like, say, some of these big holes that I created by using a big needle or a big hook. I wouldn't want to go through some of those holes because it would be super obvious that there's a tail there. So what I do is I just come through and go behind several stitches, and you're going to want to pull it tight, but you're not going to want to pull it too tight because you don't want to distort your work. So once I've gone so far in one direction, I switch and go another direction. So I just came out right here, so I'm going to come down here just a little bit and go forward and slide through. Whoops, pulled my work off the needle. Okay, there we go. So you can see, can't really tell that, but if you were to pull too tight, it distorts your work. So you're going to want to keep it loose so it's not distorting your work. So now that I've gone that way for a little bit, I'm going to turn and go this way. Now obviously if you've changed colors a lot in your piece, you're going to want to try to keep your tail color similar to where you're at, or to the same color tail as where you're feeding it into your work, so that you're not seeing, like, a big purple tail through lime green work. That would look very, very noticeable. But again, I just keep going through for a while until I just feel like it's enough. I never quite know how much I'm going to do. I just keep going until essentially I get bored of weaving in my ends. So I'm going to call it done after I slide into this stitch. All right. So now, we started up here and I've weaved all the way through down to here. So chances are pretty good, unless this piece takes some serious damage, it's not going to come undone easily. So when you're done, I like to pull it just a little bit tight. So where I told you not to pull it tight, you're going to pull it a little bit tight, and so it distorts just a little bit of the work here. And the reason for that is, so you want to take your scissors and cut it as close to the work as you can without cutting the work. And then you want to kind of maneuver the piece around a little bit so that that tail disappears into your work, and you can't see it anymore. Okay. And that is how you fasten off and weave in your tails. As always, if you have any questions, let me know, and if you want to see me create a tutorial for a certain stitch, please let me know in the comments. Thank you so much.